of cars in the Lone Star Racing machine. Matthias Besch has come into the pits for PR1 Matheson Motorsport from 9th position. Paul di Resta did come out after that off at turn 1 in turn 8 for the number 22 United Autosports team. Through goes Malte Jakobsen, fastest lap of the race for his car, 151.1, and he's eased out another 6/10 because even though Tom Dillman in second has put in a 51.7, that's that car's fastest lap of the race, it's still not quick enough. 51.2 for Sebastian Bourdais. He's taken half a second out of Dillman. Mikkel Jensen is only another 1 second further back down the field. He's done a 51.4. Incredible stuff at the front of the P2 field.
And it's incredible stuff in GTD as well. Hawksworth holding off Philip Ellis. These are two drivers that have had such a great run of a couple of years in the IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Championship with lots of success, race wins, titles, etc. And it's now just a straight fight. 15 minutes. Who has got the performance? Who wants it more?
Ellis last year wins at the Rolex 24, the Sebring 12 hours, 6 hours at the Glen. He also won his class at the Spa 24 last year. It was just a magical season for Philip Ellis, and he is so good on the brakes.
Yeah.
That's where he really closes in on this Lexus. 15 minutes to go. You know he's going to go for it if he's close enough to have a go.
Well, is this going to be a rewind of the Jaime Mello versus Jörg Bergmeister finish in GT all those years ago? It's got the makings of it.
I'm not sure that I can take another one of those, if I'm quite honest. That was building and building all the way through the last 10 or 15 minutes.
Now the number 3 Corvette playing a factor here in GTD Pro. They're several laps down the wheel of that. It's Alexander Sims, and as Hawksworth able to get by, stuffs it up the inside, and Sims again, true pro, lets them both go. Maybe held up Hawksworth. Here comes Ellis. Ellis puts up just on the quarter pallet. They do touch again. Here comes Ellis, a bump and run, and he goes through.
Now, is that going to be looked at? I tell you, it's close to the end of the race. I don't think that Jack Hawksworth will be very happy about that. The Mercedes up the inside. There was a little bit of a lack of loss of momentum by the Lexus when he came up to that Corvette. And Ellis has gone. Ellis has absolutely checked out. All of a sudden, he's put half a second, 3/4 of a second in.
Well, he's really got to make a move now, because if there is a call to make a redress or anything like that, you've got to have this pace in hand. But no, or just scamper, just go. Just show that you've got the pace anyway, and you were being held up.
How did you see it, Ryan?
Don't want to have to make that call. I think this late in the race, Philip Ellis has to go for it and then let the chips fall where they may, right? It's up to race control now. It's a tough call to make, though, to make him give that spot back or serve a penalty, because the 12 was checked up in traffic. That was part of the reason they made contact, at least the first time. It was the second contact, though, that I'm not so sure about. What about you, John?
It's going to be the decision that's going to be made from race control if they look at it, and it hasn't come up that it's being looked at the moment, but if they do, I think what they've got to balance is, was there racing room given by the leader as against the contact that moved the leader out of the way, and where does that balance lie? And I'm not sure I want to call that. Definitely got held up by the number 3 Corvette. Then there's a bump, and then down into turn 5. He's not at the apex, and he gets just a little tap. But why was he not at the apex? Because he'd been moved over. By the way, Felipe Nasser was going through as well. Having another good look at it. Does he move across to close the door too late? The leader, that's what's going to be. I'm not saying one way or the other, but those are the decisions that race control have to make, and that's why we don't want to be there.
And remember, this sets the precedent as well, moving
early
forward.
Part of the season.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to be judged on for the rest of the year. Hawksworth, I'll guarantee you, if this doesn't get looked at and doesn't get overturned, he'd be saying, right, well, I know what I'm going to do. This is fine. And I don't know. I honestly don't know. Peter, you were looking very, very closely at that overhead shot there from the heli.
Very difficult to make a call. Who would want Bo Barfield's job?
No.
He's had it for a long time and had to make a lot of calls on things just like that. I'm not even going to give an opinion because that's just too difficult. It's too difficult between those two proper pro drivers, absolutely playing for keeps.
I don't know. But sometimes no call is the right call, and as yet that hasn't been referred. By the way, Matthias Best and the PR1 Matheson Orica has not come back out the pits. I think they're done. They'll get points for 9th place in the LMP2 class. Chaminade across the line now, 4.7 seconds, so matching his team car. Actually, exactly 5.87 against 8.97. Almost the same time. Oh, it is now under review. It is now under review.
And
no,
elsewhere.
That's totally
no.
Cars.
No.
0-4 Crowdstrike 13.
Ah. Okay, so Malte Jakobsen just lost the lead in the 0-4 car in LMP2 and now has dropped down at least to 3rd. Tom Dillman has come through. So this is the incident that's under review.
AWA Corvette ahead.
Yep.
So it's coming down into sunset. Jakobsen gets into the back and just punts the AWA.
He's going to get a penalty for that.
That's going to be an easier call to make, and that is going to cost Crowdstrike this race.
Yeah, he's going to get a penalty for that. Every time, if you run into the back of someone as a faster car, you're going to get a penalty for that. And Tom Dillman then takes the lead in LMP2 for inter-Europol competition. Incident responsibility drive-through. It's been called quickly. They've got to take that right now.
That's the easiest call in the world.
Yeah.
And that is just agony again for Crowdstrike. Remember, they were in such a strong position at Daytona, and their superstar there, Colton Herta, made a mistake.
Mistake by Bourdais. Got very squirrely. Going past the number 3 Corvette. Almost fell off the track there. Really hard pressure. Now, the thing is that at the moment, Jakobsen is still in this fight. How long does he stay out? Does he get involved? He's got blocked by another GTD car as they come down through to the Jean de Bihan bends and down to Le Mans and onto the back straight. Top 3 have gone across the line. Nick Yellerly, another fastest lap for the Acura. 1:49.5. That's just 3/10 away from the outright best in the race so far. Lauren Heinrich has pulled out a little bit of a gap on the 2 BMWs. It's now 3 seconds back to Max Hesse and another 3/4 of a second back to Conor De Filippi. Those 3 are nailed on for the top 3 positions. Here comes... Sorry, go ahead, Peter.
In comes Jakobsen. Oh dear. This is twice in 2 races this has happened with a superstar driver who has to get the job done, and Colton Herta made the mistake at Daytona, and it seems like it's gone that way. Malte Jakobsen, he's going to be absolutely sick after this race. Had the lead and an incident with a GT car. It's all part of the game, and you're pushing 100%, so these things can happen. But Crowdstrike, what do they need to do to get over that line?
Just misjudged it there. Easy to do in these dark conditions when the classes overlap like that, but yeah, to your point, they've been snake bitten. And
because they are coming off a restart, they're going to drop a fair way back. I think they're probably going to drop back to 6th or 7th. Paul di Resta dropped a couple of laps, obviously been in the pit lane, so he'll stay in 8th after that off in turn 1. Now it's Seb Bourdais at a 2nd from Tom Dillman. I said inter-Europol were playing themselves back in. It's worked even better than they could have hoped, to be honest. Lauren Heinrich 3 seconds to the good now on Max Hesse. In GTD, Winward by 2.1 seconds from Hawksworth, from 6/10 from Conquest, and the Ferrari of Daniel Serra. Got to ask you guys, we've got 7.5 minutes to go. Our BDO Nose Strategy Awards for the prototypes. I really liked I think it was Ryan that said TDS for using that yellow to get Stephen Thomas his extra 6 minutes. I think that's really good. In GT, how many stories there though? To ask our Crowdstrike pit lane reporters. Nick Damon, you got a nomination for the BDO No Strategy Award in GT?
Yeah, I think really, after all that ins and outs and ins, can't do Felipe running short because he probably had a problem, was ended up giving a podium anyway. So they were trying something, had to come back off it again, but still got a top 3 result.
Is Joe with you in the pit lane as well? I think he is
the
now,
other
isn't
end.
he? Joe Bradley, BDO Nose Strategy Award in GT. What's your call for that?
I can't look past Wingwood. I mean, there was a point in this race where we thought, oh, they're out of contention, and then here they are leading GTD. And I mean, yeah, they just kept coming back, and with the flip-flop concept of the pit stops, here they are right where they need to be, coming into the checkered flag. So for me, it's the 57.
They came back well from the penalty, as you mentioned. Ryan, your thoughts on GT?
Well, that was going to bring up that penalty, exactly. 4 hours, 27 minutes to go. They get that drive-through, and that looked like that could be terminal for their chances to go for the win, and they managed to get back. And I think your point earlier, John, was good about from that point on, they were already looking at the end of the race, back timing, trying to put themselves in the right position. But there is something to be said about what Paul Miller has done. We could not figure out for the life of us what they were doing with the #1 car, and maybe it wasn't by choice. We're not entirely sure, but to still come away with a podium, that merits consideration too.
And Peter, you get a say?
Well, I think in GTD it's so competitive and got such a depth of field that just pace isn't good enough. So if you're going to be in a position to win the race, which Philip Ellis right now with 5 minutes to go, 2.4 seconds ahead, I think that wins you the BDO No Strategy Award by pure association, because there's so many fast cars that just being fast isn't good enough.
Yeah. Well, we'll announce that in a couple of minutes. But that's where our thinking is going. If you agree or disagree, let us know. Hashtag Michelin PRT at IMSA Radio. Hello to Alan Prosser, still up at 6 minutes past 2 in the morning in the UK. Hello, Spirit Wood. And thank you for your kind words. Big team effort this week between NASCAR Productions, as ever, up at Concord. Particularly our replay team, the fabulous Tape Apes, IMSA and NASCAR Productions technical on the ground. Rob, thank you very much indeed for what you've done for us here at the Ford Performance Global Broadcast Centre, and of course all of our fabulous techs on the ground who have to rig everything up, and our camera operators who've had a very, very long day today. All absolute superstars, as well as the production team, as I say, up in Concord. And a big thank you to all of our volunteers, whether they are trackside, medical, track services. One thing I'm going to say as well is I think what I've seen this weekend, and I don't know whether the new regulations from IMSA have got anything to do with this, but I have seen much more consideration by drivers who've got car problems to getting the car to a place of safety, even in the practice sessions. And that has, I think, just concentrated people's minds even in the race, because we could have had 3, 4, 5, Peter, more full course yellows if people had just abandoned their cars. We've got another penalty coming in as well.
Definitely, yeah, definitely we have. And what can you say though about the man out front right now, Felipe Nasr, the brilliant Brazilian? He's just gone to the fastest lap of the race, 1 minute 49.120. Doesn't necessarily need to push hugely hard with a 4-second gap behind him, but that's what he's doing. He's just on the crest of a wave right now with his teammate Nick Tandy and Lawrence Vantor, of course, who's an equal part of this trio. They won the Rolex 24 right off the back of a championship, and they're two laps away from a Mobil 1 12 Hours of Sebring victory, which for Felipe Nasr would be his second overall victory. Tandy and Vantor have won it before, but only in class. This would be their first overall win.
353 laps, so 30 laps down on the outright distance record. But how does that stand, Peter, in terms of the more recent past and the DPI and GTP regulations?
20 more than last year.
Wow.
30 more than the year before, and actually more than the last years of DPI. So
Right.
we're getting there.
Yeah.
We're getting there.
We were talking about the Proton car a little while ago. They were going to be close on fuel. Neil Johnny just had to pit out of, I think, 4th position at the time. So that's let the 31 Earl Bamber up into 4th. Robin Frines now up into 5th. But, yeah, just a little bit too little, too late for the 5 car tonight.
Yeah, I thought we might have had a Porsche 123 at one point.
That would have been that. You'd need to go back to the 962 days, I think, or even the 935 days. Of course, Porsche, the 935, the joint most successful car here at Sebring with 6 wins, but as a brand, 18 wins outright, more than any other manufacturer. This would be a 19th.
Which would put them on the same number as they have at Le Mans, and one fewer than now at the Rolex of 24 Daytona, because they took their 20th last month. White flag is in the air. Nick Yellerly hasn't given up upgrading to second place here. He's just put his fastest lap of the race in, 1:49.2. Mathieu Jaminet cannot snooze on this last lap. 3 3/4 miles between Felipe Nasr and a famous victory for Porsche Penske Motorsport. A joint programme for Porsche and Penske. There was some eyebrows raised when it was announced that Porsche Penske Motorsport would do not just IMSA but also the WEC. It was thought that a European team would get the shout on that. The former Porsche dealership in Mannheim turned into the competition centre, and in the opening rounds of the FIA WEC, the works Porsche cars came home first and second. In our BDO Nose Strategy Awards, the TDS team win it in prototype for managing that extra 6 minutes to get Stephen Thomas over the 3 hours, and having him sitting there ready, suited, booted and ready to go with his balaclava on. Threw him in at an opportune moment at the yellow flag, and that kept them in the fight for a very long time, and they'll take home a podium finish thanks to that. In GT, off the back of a penalty and slipping down to 4th place with 4.5 hours to go, the planning and scheming and execution of the 57 car brings home the BDO No Strategy Award in GT for Winward Racing. Out of the final corner, turn 17 for the final time. The VP Racing Fuel checkered flag belongs to Porsche Penske Motorsport. The 7th crew anchored home by Felipe Nasr, tracking his teammate Mathieu Jaminet, makes it a 1-2 for Porsche and the captain, with Acura coming back to 3rd position. Nick Yellerly and the number 93 car. Let's go down to our Crowdstrike pit lane reporters for some reaction from the winning teams.
Incredible atmosphere, as you can imagine here. They've just done the double. Nick Tandy, can you absolutely believe this? Rounds 1, rounds 2, here you are. Sebring 12-hour winner now, mate.
I know.
You're lost for words.
It's just mega job again, 1-2 finish. I think, both cars spent the least amount of time on pit road. We didn't have to make that last stop, but, we can look down from our pit stand and see all the people down there.
All that effort.
Yeah, exactly.
It was kind of faultless. The pace was there from the very outset, Nick, and that pace has just been absolutely just never put a foot wrong in any way, shape or form.
It was a Porsche Penske perfect run, like Daytona. The same again. I think we're in such a good situation.
Triple crown, man.
And this is your first win here. Your first win. Congratulations, mate. Overall win, I mean.
Exactly. Yeah. No, it's mega, but it's just, teamwork again. So many people involved. I'm just one of these people that gets to talk to you guys, and yeah, a 2 out of 2.
I'm going to talk the boss now, Mr. Penske. That was a very Penske win there, Mr. Penske.
Well, it was a team effort, and all the drivers were on their game today. The Porsche 963 was outstanding. You could see it just got better and better as the weather got cooler. And smart work in the pits, good job in the pits, no issues there. And coming in 1-2 here, it's been a long time since we won this race. It was back, I think, in 2006 or 7. So amazing day.
Had a great start to 2025, Daytona and now Sebring. I mean, you're going to win them all?
Well, I hope we do, but let's think about how much fun we can have tonight.
How does this compare with that 2008 with the Spider?
Well, I think, we had 2 cars, one dropped out early, and then we ended up beating the Audis with an LMP2 car, so that was pretty special, but the last one is always the best one.
Congratulations.
With the winner in GTD Pro, it's Rexy, it's Klaus Backer, a fantastic result.
Yeah, unbelievable. I mean, so proud of the team. They did an amazing job, and honestly, Lauren, in the end, the last 2 hours, incredible. It's, I somehow I felt it the last 3 hours that maybe we have a chance to go for the victory, but you never know. And honestly, I'm so proud of the team, and also for sure for my teammate Alessio. We like we said, we won something together really big. In 12 hours of Sebring GTD Pro class. I won it 2 years ago, but I'm so happy that we managed this today, and looking forward for the rest of the season.
Well done, Klaus, congratulations. That's 77 AO Porsche, Klaus Backer, Alessio Piccarello and Laurent Heinrich have won GTD Pro.
And the orthodonty treatment at the front of Rexy comes through. Now, do they leave it on? How superstitious are they? Do they leave it on? Or does Rexy's toothy grin get restored to its health and another gold tooth added, Ryan?
That team always thinks of something new.
Yes, it does.
I don't think we can predict what will come next, but I suspect we will like it, because that's been the theme of this whole Rexy program.
Remember, they made their IMSA debut in 2023 at the Rolex 24. 2 years. And they've got a championship and they've got a Sebring win. Amazing.
Speaking of making IMSA debuts, in the LMP2 class, Jeremy Clark was a last-minute fill-in Inter-Europol's car. This was his first ever IMSA start. It's only his 7th LMP2 race. He did Asian Le Mans over the winter, and he's a Sebring 12-hour winner.
Just like that.
It's a
class that really makes dreams come true, doesn't it?
Let's take a look at the unofficial results, subject to post-race technical inspection. Absolutely incredible stuff. It's a 1-2, the 7 from the 6 for Porsche Penske Motorsport and the 963. Philippe Nasser, Nick Tandy, Lawrence Van Toort ahead of their teammates Mathieu Jaminet, Matt Campbell and Kevin Estre, with Nick Yellerly doing a great job in the Acura with Renger van der Zande, and let's not forget that Palo type person jumping in here, and he looks like he might have a future in sports cars if he doesn't get snapped up to go to GM for Formula One. Earl Bamber with Jack Aitken and Fred Vesti, another single-seater driver who is making a very big splash in sports car racing in 4th for Cadillac. Then BMW with the number 25 team. The first of the privateer Porsches was the Proton Mustang sampling car in 6th. 7th for the best of the Wayne Taylor Racing Cadillacs. I tell you what, that didn't look on even 7th earlier on in the race. They actually came back pretty well. When the cars were going, they were moving pretty quickly. Top 10 made up by the number 85 JDC Miller car, delayed by that blocked brake duct, remember, which cost them, I think, 3.5, 4 laps in the pit lane. The Aston Martin comes home within the top 10. The Valkyrie of Heart of Racing for Ross Gund, Roman De Angelis and Alex Riberas. with a very decent run, more than that actually. A little problem at the end, dropped it a couple of laps off the pace, but its outright pace and its reliability were brilliant, and the top 10 made up by the number 60 Acura. More results in a moment after more winners. Let's get down to Winwood, and what a win again. They've done this one twice in a row. In terms of last year and this year, another good start to the season for the 57 AMG. And it is Bryce Ward now talking to Joe Bradley.
Bryce, you have a massive smile on your face, and that's very understandable. You must be delighted.
Not only have I got a smile, but I'm laughing all the way to the bank. I mean, it's just incredible. What a team, what a bunch of drivers. I mean, the team kind of let us down a little bit when we had a little penalty, but the drivers helped us out and the team helped us out. We made that the pass on the Ferrari in pits, and then Philip made the pass on the road. So both drivers and team, damn, what a team! So happy to be here, and thanks again to all of you guys for commentating and doing such an incredible.